yang buat truck, for example, right? So in that one, known as well, they develop. So my ambitions, this is my personal ambitions dari dulu lagi. This one is Autonomous Vehicle Readiness Index. KPMG is audited punya companies. They rank countries. They rank the countries. How the countries ready in terms of autonomous vehicles lah. Alright, the top 30. Kalau kita tengok the top 30, so the evaluation is based on the policies and regulations, how the technology or innovations, infrastructure readiness, and also how the consumers accept on this. So the rank is previously since 2018, I can't remember, but the score based on that lah. You can see that I highlighted on the top rank and the last rank. If you can see that most of the technology driven or the ones that lots of development on AV is actually can see in US banyak dekat sana, and then dekat Europe pun ada. Tapi kalau you tengok the first rank, kalau tengok Singapore last 2 year 2019 dia nombor 2, 2020 dia jadi nombor 1, dia rank up. Okay, kenapa dia jadi macam tu? So they in Singapore they have some initiative they call smart city punya initiative. Their autonomous vehicle technology is not meant for macam Waymo or using a passenger car, but they want to optimize their transportation punya systems. So itu ada. Kemudian salah satunya, one of the thing is that in Singapore they already put amendment on their regulations lah. I heard something like the definitions of autonomous vehicles. Like autonomous vehicle, the definition tu dia orang dah clearly up macam mana nak buat, and a lot of testing support by governments going on in Singapore. Kalau di United States pula pun sama jugalah. Now they go for level 5. Level 5 meaning there is no drivers now. A few companies already done there. If it goes to India, then you can see that not many news on what happened in India kan. Tapi dia ada rank kat situ. Tapi India ni dia producing the talent of the AVs lah. You can go to LinkedIn, just search autonomous vehicle, scope to India, then you can list down, they can see a lot of companies R&D development dekat India. Continental, BMW, Volvo ada R&D center there on that. So my aim hopefully Malaysia ada duduk dalam this index lah. Alright. So this is the around the world yang kita banyak. Mostly kalau kita tengok density of the testing on the autonomous vehicle is more to US state. Banyak dekat US berlaku. Every state pun ada legislation dia. So dia ada impact dekat situ. Kemudian banyak dekat Europe. Tapi mostly sekarang ni saya tengok banyak dekat US and also dekat China. So there are doing a lot of testing over there. A lot of startup companies that focus on autonomous solutions. A lot of companies that are looking at that. So I will nearby Singapore and so. Okay, so this is the regulation policy, because the more hurdle is about policy and regulations lah, to related to the autonomous vehicles. Kalau kita tengok macam you can see that Singapore passed legislation recognizing motor vehicle don't require a human driver. So they have the definition on what is autonomous vehicle. So they passed that. Of course, there's a lot of regulation on how to endorse and so on. but at least from government point of view, okay, this is the way forwards. So that's one lah. So kalau tengok dekat China, Shanghai, they have first self-driving license, they granted lah on that lah. Around the world. Kemudian kalau if you look at the state of US state, different state, different method of regulating. So dia orang ni lain sikit lah. Maksudnya state dia ada own regulations lah. Alright, so that's on that lah. I guess I won't go for this as this one is based on SAE J3016 standards lah. So more or less level 1, level 2 until level 5. So level 1 is more on driving assistant or warning, itu adalah level 1. Kemudian level 2 partial lah, lane keeping kalau kita adaptive cruise control. So now there is a few company on the level 3. First Mercedes the only yang sekarang dah pass level 3 for kemudian level 4 is highly driving automations but in designated areas, and they have certain limitation whereby still need some drivers lah. So safety, we call it safety driver. Level 5 memang totally driverless vehicles punya technology, robotaxis lah. So this is the definition, roughly around that areas. Okay, I guess I won't go to this, but mostly when we design an autonomous vehicle, of course we will fuse multiple sensors, taking care of the safety, taking care of the redundancies, taking care of a few layers safeties lah. So that's why you can see that on autonomous vehicle you can see a lot of cameras, a lot of radar, LiDAR as well. So what we tend to do is not only rely on one sensors to give the informations, but using a different kind of sensors to give the same values lah, the same object lah, so that we can we call redundancy lah. Kita boleh tengok the macam mana kita because any camera, sorry, any sensor, they have some advantage and disadvantage, so we couple it together. This is more or less on the overall of the sensors on AVs lah. So say overall kan dia kalau kita tengok dia panggil lane departure warning, short range, surround view, blind spot detection, ini semua adalah modul-modul yang currently have dalam vehicles, and eventually they will integrated and then become autonomous vehicle level 4, level 5. So on that particular for the past 4 years, when we 3 years, ingatlah Dr. Ibrahim, 3-4 years, what eMovie done is a lot of great awareness, a lot of providing some info or engage with governments on what we are doing right now. We're doing a lot of public awareness lah. Invite government, MyROS, JPJ, all these agencies shows our technologies. The idea is to grasp their ideas. Okay, this is things that will give some benefit to the countries. Not on commercialization, but it's a lot of impacts lah. All right. So that's what we're doing for the past previously. We're doing a lot of engagement with the government. There is no commercial yet. There is no added values on that. But that's how we want to make sure that okay, we getting the readies on the technology, but we need to make sure that the government also aware on this, and then we proactive actions on that. So a lot of going on. So engagement tu bukan is not on the government as well, on the universities as well, because we see that we need some talent. So we do provide some engage with government universities. For me, purely R&D is the ones that are related to what we need from universities. Much easier for us lah, the grads and then join us lah. So a lot of engagement. So saya banyak buat apa yang kata bagi talk and so on lah. So saya tak kata but I think like for example dekat Polytechnic they do have some team forming one team. What they call is flagship OIR. So their focus is in Polytechnic Sultan Azlan Shah. They focus on autonomous vehicle. So they participate. They want to develop their own, learn from zero. So in which support on that, we provide guidelines, we provide some trainings on them. What the roadmap and so on. So this is a few projects they have done, which I say congratulations to Polytechnics, because I think this is on the level is quite impressive for me. They've done all that stuff. So they have some topics to cover up. So delivery robots and everything, and also on autonomous vehicles. On top of that, in UPM, UMP, this one from I think Dr. Izzat, they develop their own autonomous shuttle. They want to develop from scratch, process studies and try to improve it, which is for me. So the activities is there. It will pushing governments on that lah. So they develop one shuttle EVs, and then they implement the technologies on the fully autonomous on the shuttles lah. Saya rasa Dr. Izzat is my students dulu dia minta saya mentionkan nama tu. Okay, and then back then from dekat universities of Nottingham, Malaysia, right? Dr. Vimal, I met him bila lah, saya tak ingat dah kena lama lah. Tapi dia Dr. Vimal dekat Nottingham, dia fokus on virtual testing. So which is benefit. So not only R&Ds for object detection or on that AI techniques and so on, but on the testing part. Because currently around the world, they don't have any standard testing. All right, a standard testing maksudnya we need to follow this standard UNR and so on. They have, but in level 3 standard. So when we go to fully autonomous, the testing is not about something like automotive standard. You want to test the vehicle readiness, you want to test the reliabilities of the suspension, for example. No, they are testing on the scenario creation. So Dr. Bima doing that. So they create some scenarios, for example, people crossing, so how the autonomous vehicle react and so on. So this is the ones. So in nutshell, for me, what we have done from 2017 until now, there is an impact. We see mostly got some encouragement into providing some research grant on autonomous vehicle related KPT as well. They have that one. I see that. So I think that will grow up at least pada saya macam dia giving impacts to the complete ecosystems lah. Bukan itu saja, saya tengok ada a few companies yang start developing not on autonomous vehicle, tapi kadang tu a piece module to support on that. So itulah. Jadi in overall right now, this is the overall what we being achieved lah. A glance lah. 2017 kita pindah, we moved to futurize, and then we start developing our first AV prototype, Izora. Ada lagi, sayang pun paper tu. Kemudian 2019 kita together with Cellcoms and Ericsson, we do some autonomous vehicle, and dekat tu masa tu kita run a few untuk public experience lah. They ride the vehicle. Public suka tengok sebab steering tu bergerak sendiri. So it's excited to us lah. So it's just creating awareness to the public. So this is the technology that we want to do. This is the technologies that further ahead lah. And then before COVID, we do some trial dekat Langkawi. And then the most prominent, I guess, the most impacted is that we are being granted by the government under Ministry of Transport to allow us to do some testing in public area, public road. The issue is not kita tak boleh run terus lah. Maksudnya kita kena they evaluate our technologies, and then safety, how do you measure safety, and so on. So we work together with Ministry of Transport under Futurize lah. Futurize drive this secretariat, so they form a committees, and then together with headed by Ministry of Transport. So they create some sort of guidelines lah. From that, we doing a lot of testing in public areas. And then early this year, Yinsen joined us, and then to go ahead lah. So currently, this is by 15, I can't remember, but this is mostly ours lah. What we are, we have engineers, software engineers, senior engineer, junior engineers, and then technician. Kalau you tengok kita pyramid tu, semua kita yang ada experience, and then kita ada junior engineers. Kemudian we do have PhD holders, kita ambil masters holder. Pada kami, we appreciate that as experience, alright, for development, for R&D. So we need that the experienced one. So for us, when you doing a PhD, so that is for us your experience. So we acknowledge that. So always right. So we do have a strength of our team consists of mechanical design. We do have embedded system, software engineering, and then a lot of machine learning lah. So that's the overall about e-movies lah, apa yang ada sekarang. So this is the activities in Malaysia. The most impacted is for us, kita banyak buat engagement. Tak ada commercial lagi, don't worry, tak ada commercial lagi. Maksudnya orang fikir kita akan commercialkan the whole product, mana vehicle kan, tapi it's not like that. So this is the activities kita nak showcase lah, alright. Banyak engagement on that lah. So this is, I guess, one of the things that success for the governments lah. When we talk to Ministry of Transport, they said they cannot allow, alright. There is no law or act untuk macam mana nak run autonomous vehicle. But then what they do is they create some guideline. This is in total in overseas pun sama juga. They have a guidelines. Means that if you want to run, so they produce a guideline, a living document. Yang ni version ketiga. So Futurize lead this, headed by MOT. So they updated the documents. Meaning that when we want to deploy, any company wants to deploy or want to do a testing on autonomous vehicle on the public road, so they have a guideline. Dalam guideline ni, they want to know our ODD, ODD is operation domains, how your safety reaction, how you do the technologies, and why not slash the document to it's a living document. So I think this is the that's allowed us as a tech companies, right, yang melibatkan regulation punya boundaries ni, blocked by boundaries of regulation. So government see, okay, kita facilitate, they do this. This is, I believe, easy lah, because dalam they have some my AVs punya they will call it my AV testing committee. So dalam tu they have JPJ, they have MyROS, they have MARI, a few agencies related to road transport lah. So they gather all together and then they come out with this lah. So I think this is easy for companies that wants to do some development or tech lah. So senang, memang nampak senang. Okay? So whatever that we are doing, we report to this committee. So this is our stack, our software. We focus on the software stack, meaning that we have our autonomous software stack. So the software stack, we develop a software stack, but then we can go into a different market. So you can see autonomous buggy, and then you have we develop currently on Serena on the right side, and then we can go to agriculture, and then we can go to urban logistic solutions using the software stack that we develop. It is a module based lah, right? Ini example lah how we do some mapping and localization. I will not go to details on this lah, but ini adalah salah satu method dalam autonomous vehicles lah, robotics lah. Mostly robotics currently we are deploying commercial is indoor, very simple, structured environments. But when we talk to outside, very unstructured, dynamics, a lot of uncertainty. So mapping and localization, there's a lot of techniques lah. Nowadays they deploy this. I would not go detail. Saya tak suka technical sangat. Kalau technical dia lain. Kemudian ini pun sama juga, is about, saya tak boleh run kot yang camera based LiDAR mappings lah. Maksudnya we fuse cameras and LiDAR to have a better map, better accuracies on this lah. Sebenarnya saya tak nak cerita sangat detail macam ni, although I know it's IEEE, but I guess hopefully there is a lot of discussions lah on this. So just to show that we have something. Okay, on the left side is a track robot we planted in plantations. We want to see it shows that how the technologies can be deployed in different environments. Like on the right is unmanned electric tractors. This one together with our partners in China. So Ibrahim, okay dengan ni videos, okay what? Right? Okay. So okay, so this is on the agriculture sites, and then this one is on the robotic side, delivery side. All right. The same. Yang ini kami together with DDC, kami ada some sort of operation trial lah. Kita buat operation dekat pasar yang this is shows the technologies lah. Alright, and then to end sekali, this is our shuttle, what we call autonomous shuttle. Is designed for 14-seater. You can see is that a lot of sensors. Macam dekat sini ni ada sensors. LiDAR consists of LiDAR sensors, about 2 cameras, also radar. So the idea is that we want to is designed for control environments. When you talk about control environment, it's not on the public road, like inside the universities, attraction place, a zoo properly, transit between one areas to one areas, for example, something like that. So it's not meant for public road. Because in order for us to run in public road, there is a few criteria that we run. We need to abide lah. One of the things is that Ministry of Transport atau MOT dia minta kereta tu mesti roadworthiness lah. Maksudnya kereta yang legally memang boleh run dekat public road. So I end up my session right now. I just not giving very too details on the technical part, but I give you overall ideas on what happenings, on what we have done over here, and we support in terms of knowledge sharing, some sort of creating some roadmap or whatever that we support. Various universities lah. Overall lah, tak ada bias. Sorry, Dr. Ibrahim. But I think for me, if pada saya is more about creating the ecosystems lah dalam Malaysia. Alright, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Thanks Dr. Hairi for your good overview on the autonomous landscape in Malaysia. Right, I think terima kasih Dr. Hairi. Basically cover daripada awal on the autonomous index and up to the end you show some example on e-movie. In the middle we have some example on the research work by Polytechnic, UMP that e-movie involved, and then a lot of awareness I think from e-movie, not only to the community but also to the government body, right? I think hand to hand helping many agencies, as you mentioned, MyROS, JPJ. I think with that we have we open for question. Either you want to ask straight away.
To start? Say stop dulu.
Boleh. I think start there. So I would like to you can share your question. I think we have one question from YitCH. Okay, but before that, I would like to open any questions to all the participants. I think we have a lot of crowds today, Dr. Hairi. So first question that I have, I think, what is the actual throughput and latency requirement in the research? The connection is through Wi-Fi or mobile network. I think they're related to your connectivity lah. I think you mentioned
it is about connectivity.
Between your module and with all the connectivities.
Okay, when we design our vehicles, one of the most priority is on the safety. Safety layer is about the most safety tu yang paling tinggi, top priorities lah. So any decisions that require urgent responses, response. For example, you have big tech object in front of your vehicles, and then you make a decision in real time, so everything will be inside the vehicles. All right, but connectivities to the cloud, if you are using mobile networks or Wi-Fi, currently very not stable, very high latencies. So for us, it's just monitoring, like whatever that, something like a fleet management. There is no such a thing, something like ada semua orang kata, or you taking all the data and then pass it to a cloud and then do processing and submit. It will not happen in autonomous vehicles lah. Because the decision is we need about what, 10 millisecond sampling every decision. So you need very precise. the more a lot of sensors, the more sensors you have, they will sampling real time will be the issues lah. So just imagine that you travel around 100 km per hour, for example, you detect, and then after 1 second, then we make a decision. 1 second is already 16-20 meter ahead, you crash. So that benda-benda macam tu lah.
Alright. So that's your answer lah, I think, regarding
Yes,
on your
yes.
applications, right?
Yes.
I think if you have any other questions, yes, I think I have another one by Sadato Buka. Thank you for that. My question is, what are the challenge behind deploying AV and how can they be overcome? I mean, I would say it is your most difficult part lah, Dr. Hairi. I think this question. What is the most difficult part to make sure your car on the road? Let's say your ecotourism just now.
Yeah,
And
okay. When we deploy, alright, when we doing our system, kita ada process flow, alright. We not only develop test. Okay. No, we have module testing. We test the reliabilities, software testing, for example. So we have methodologies, alright. So all the process tu kita akan ada rigorous testings lah, up to the level of the vehicle itself. When we want to kita test kan, kita nak jalan kat ni, kita ada testing on the vehicle as well. Contoh dia we have a standard tester procedures. Contoh dia at 20 km per hour, for example, we test braking distance. So how the response. So we do standard testing lah. We create our own. It's based on multiple standard around the world. Then we come out our own standard, our own procedures lah. So itu untuk memberikan keyakinan bahawa okay, this is how. But tapi selalu the most challenging is not on that. Sekarang ni sebenarnya the most challenging is how to on public punya acceptance. Macam mana react orang dengan autonomous vehicle. Dia akan ada macam, yalah, bila when we talk about new technology kan, akan ada resistance, akan ada spectacle macam apa ni kan. So public awareness tu yang kita sekarang tengah buat. Kita create event, buat demo, tunjuk ke orang segala macam tu lah. Yang itu sebab any new things masuk dalam public, contoh dia dalam orang ramai kan, dia akan ada something like resistance ke ataupun benda ni baru, macam mana ni kata macam tu lah. So saya rasa yang challenging adalah on that, not on the technology. I think technology kita boleh kata is amongst our, kita boleh control, tapi bila melibatkan orang kan, kita kena make sure that safety is the priority concerns lah, for them, for us. Yang tu lah yang pada saya. That's why kita buat slow-slow. Kita tak rushing. Kita tak just go bulldoze everything kan. Kita follow the rules. Kita engage dengan government. Macam mana kita nak buat. Macam tu lah.
Okay. Alright. They have another question to Terry. Non-stop question, I believe. Okay, but I think thanks. I think I've been read about. I think in US they have like a simple social study. They have like a pizza delivery. I think by Domino's they do some simple study. They put people inside of the car. Basically, they drive the car. Tapi they just want to see what the people reaction when see car without driver.
Yeah. Behaviors kan. How people respond on that.
That's another grand opportunity.
Well, currently most research we tend to focus on technology. So kita banyak fokus dekat teknologi kan. Tapi macam mana dengan social impact? Behaviors people. It's on, yalah, dia ada a few kan. Teknologi, social, ekonomi. So macam mana social? Maksudnya people reaction. Itu yang tadi tu people reaction. Macam tu.
Okay. Alright, I think we have another 2 questions, Dr. Hairi. I think once you answer, they coming with another question.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem.
Okay. Cuma sorry lah, I think Webex ni dia tak nampak nama. Saya sorry, I can read your name. But just now I think I can see from at the end Abu Bakar. But this one I'm not sure who's asking. You may type again. But the question is, what will be the push or pull factor in deploying these established AV technologies, especially in Malaysia? Is it policy driven or demand driven? The first question first.
Driven, demand driven. I guess we are creating the demands lah. For us, something like we cannot wait. So we create that demands lah. We propose to the government. Then we it's not proposal lah. We work together with the government. There is some things that we believe that this kind of technologies will be not replacing lah. Saya tak suka cakap replacing human. Supporting or make people life easier. Macam tu lah kan. Just imagine that tapi dekat Malaysia ni dia tak, I don't think it can work for macam dekat US. Dia tak for macam ride hailings lah kan, e-hailings autonomous kan, passenger car, four seater. I don't think can work. But for us, we believe that if we can go solving the public transport issues, that's the main focus for us.
That's how you create the demand lah.
Yeah, that's how we create the demands for us. So try to solve that. Okay, we seize that the issue. Kalau if you look in general, right, our public transport, let's say stay in the cities, Kuala Lumpur, for example, we have a good LRT, MRT, end-to-end solutions. But last mile, from your house to the LRT, so kebanyakan isu kat situ. So kita boleh fokus kat situ kan. Macam
itu
tu.
Itu isu now tu yang tu.
Isu kan. Betul lah.
Okay. Alright. So, okay. Before we move to the next question, the same guy asking Dr. Hairi, what makes 5G technology in AV deployment useful from your perspective lah, Dr. Hairi? 5G when it's ready.
We do some engagement lah. Kita test dengan 5G lah. It is reliable, it's fast, low latencies. Ada dua bandwidth, high bandwidth and low latencies. Itu boleh membantu kami. Contoh dia can you know when in urban kan, kalau you pernah dengar macam V2X, vehicle to vehicle communication, V2I, vehicle to infra communications, right? Kita ada dalam vehicle, we have cameras, for example, that detect very simple solution, very simple, straightforward punya issues. We have object detections, alright. Whatever guna AI, deep learning and so on, kita traffic light. Okay, kita bukan nak tahu dia traffic light ke tak, tapi we want to know the status, red, green or yellow. Betul? We relies on camera. If we want to have a redundancy, we use another camera to detect the same object, the same traffic light. Betul?
Simple.
Tapi kita tak ada safety. Kita tak ada backup data. Maksudnya backup tu maksudnya kita only rely on camera. Kalau ada false, jangan. So what we can do is using the 5G is that from the traffic light, we connected the IoT, send to central and then pass it to the vehicles, giving a status. Maksudnya another information coming from not rely on camera, but ada dua macam tu. So dia bagi satu, okay red, yang ni pun red, okay confirm je lah. No, red putih, sorry. Tapi itulah redundancies lah. So kita tak realize, sebab kita on safety, kita tak realize on one information only.
So that's how 5G will be useful for the AV lah.
Yeah,
I mean,
from the alert.
In terms of the connectivity, right? Okay, another one, Dr. Hairi, quick one. I think maybe I can stop for another 2 questions lah nanti kan. Okay, Dr. Hairi, if AV break into the mainstream market someday, is it possible that AV can enter markets such as sharing transport in the future, where now that the world is pushing toward decreasing carbon and people and governing bodies in especially places like Singapore or Kuala Lumpur are trying to limit the amount of transport on the road to become heavy relies on public
Yeah,
transport lah.
that's one of the agendas lah. Big cities, a lot of issues on I think not, yeah, I
CO2.
can say macam transportation punya issues lah. That's why they go towards to EVs, they go towards on how to improve the transportation and kan kalau kita tengok public transport is more EVs lah, electric vehicle. But by combining dengan AVs, so it's much smoother, optimized transportation and so on. But in big scale, in long term, we believe on that lah. Because kalau we go to a company, big cities, right? Land areas, kalau kita tengok land areas for parking only is about 30 to 40% parking. Buat bangunan kita kena ada parking. Buat bangunan kita kena parking. Kalau tengah KLCC tu, satu kaki persegi is about 1,300 right now per square feet. Just imagine untuk park. Just, it's not commercial values lah. It's waste. So that one of the things in term of economic skill. And then ada macam dekat Japan for example, dekat Paris for example, most people dah tak pakai pun dah kereta. They use public transport kan. That's behaviors that people change.
See. Okay, so yeah.
Nak cakap ni jiwa sejarah ada lagi kan.
Okay, quick one ada Terry. I think they have another one. Okay, this is coming from I think from the lecturer or the researchers lah. Okay. It's, what AV aspect you would like to see more research conducted in Malaysia? Kita orang boleh buat proposal tu, soalan dia.
Detail kita kena sembang lah. Tapi sebenarnya banyak.
Kasihlah a few hints. I think they ask for tips.
Banyak kita tengok on teknologi, yes, banyak kan. Tapi we go depths tu kan, macam mana AV dia, ekonomi dia, macam mana dia punya resource urban transport, behavior people change. Banyak dekat saiz social tu kita tak banyak sentuh. Memang tak banyak sentuh. So banyak, kita boleh banyak buat survey behaviors people. Saya pun nak tahu juga kan. Can you do something like that tu lah. Dalam teknologi atau technical macam IEEE, I guess it's actually banyak lah.
Maybe two.
Sensor fusion is one of the things lah.
Sensor fusion.
Yes, sensor fusion is one of the things. Kemudian kita banyak guna AI for image or videos detections kan. Betul. Tapi can we use that predicting people behaviors? Betul dia, can we predict people kereta? Kalau macam contohnya motor, kita prepare object detection, tapi behaviors people, kereta jalan motor punya behaviors kan. Bila kita tahu behaviors dia, kita boleh predict dan kita boleh buat reaction. Macam kita manusia lah, dekat traffic light, kita tengok kereta tu, dia orang jalan, lepas tu kita boleh predict, dia ni nak bergerak atau dia nak stop, kita boleh predict kan. So kita dah start reaction. Kalau kita boleh buat macam tu, then vehicle kita can make some prediction on what's going to happen. So kita boleh react awal sikit. Prediction. Boleh ke AI punya prediction? I don't know.
Reinforcement learning kan?
Reinforcement learning, something like that lah. Banyak dah kalau kita tengok kan. Kemudian dalam AI tu, itu salah satu lah. Sebab bila saya scouting for banyak orang ataupun saya cari hunting for staff right?
Yeah.
Yes. Kebanyakan AI adalah guna untuk image. Banyak image videos. Dia tak buat predictive tracking for example. Behaviors for example. People behave. Kadang tu nampak kereta je, tapi kalau can we predict that Dia nak pergi mana, dia nak ke kanan ke kiri ke, can we do that? Macam tu lah. Ada research lah.
So kena digest sendiri lah untuk jadi proposal tu.
Tak ada lah, saya bagi idea.
Okay,
Banyak.
alright. Okay, I leave it for another 3 questions lah, and then we most probably we're going to stop. Okay, this is from I think one of your wonderful student. Salam Sifu, selamat Hari Raya. What a glorious achievement you have so far and is still counting. Dia nak tahu jugalah what's next. And then I have question, how many years do you think Malaysia will be ready for AV on road? First achievement dulu kalau nak share. I think dia ask what's next, your milestone.
Our milestone is, kali ni kita banyak buat testing. Maksudnya technology validation. Technology validation. Kita banyak buat testing dekat road. Technology validation maksudnya kita tengok kita punya teknologi, kita punya system response and so on. The second milestone is that, macam mana saya nak cakap? Tapi saya rasa saya nak cakap dulu kot, tak surprise nanti.
Okay. Keep so secret. So then call for 2023 talk Okay. The next one is how many years do you think Malaysia ready for AV?
Saya tengok overall lah, saya tak tengok dekat Malaysia je. Tengok overall orang tu. Dulu dia expected 2040. 2050, lepas tu dia datang start tu 2040, dan kita tak expect pun tahun ni dekat US kita dah ada saya rasa dia dah start macam a bit of commercial lah, tapi dia tak really commercial, but they are start testing on level 5 punya driverless vehicle. Maksudnya benda tu bukan cepat, kita pun tak sangka. Dia kata, ni 20, 30, 40, okey lagi ni. Pasal dia okey lah tu. Tengok, dia lagi cepat. Sebab dia around the world tu dia start pushing. For Malaysia, for me, Malaysia, we have that initiative lah. Saya pun nak kata clear, tapi we have that roadmaps lah. Then it needs to be consolidated with the government lah. Itu je yang saya boleh beritahu sekarang ni. Nak minum kopi.
Nanti saya buatkan dia punya Google Form siapa nak minum kopi tu. Alright, okay. Next one, I think the last 2 questions, Dr. Hairi. AV comprises many sensor devices as you mentioned earlier, including onboard, LiDAR and other sensor. What plan is your company making to ensure safety in terms of resource management? Is your company adopting network slicing to allocate services to different slices? I'm not sure the question.
That's one, saya tak nak sure sangat dengan apa maksud network slicing.
Maybe Sadatu, I think I give you like maybe you can rewrite straight away before I.
I'm guessing because internally, okay, dalam network tu kita memang ada. Saya rasa ini orang communication kot. Sorry, I have no idea. Tapi bila kita ada different sensor, bukan different sensors, tapi kita kena ada dia setiap sensors it would feedback to us, betul kan? Then we need to make sure that these sensors and this sensor giving the same or giving the information at particular exact time. Maksudnya at T4 contohnya dia akan memberi, takut nanti kan yang ni bagi pada dia ada delay sikit 10 millisecond for example. So itu I guess about that lah. So we deploy some kita buat on a real time punya time synchronization. Saya agak yang tu lah dia punya soalan tu. Macam tu lah. Tapi you just imagine kalau kita ambil information sini dengan information sebelah sini, dia ada delay dalam 10 millisecond for example, or probably 20 millisecond for example. Dia dah bagi giving of different info. Macam tu lah. Ataupun lebih bijak lagi kalau you nampak objek kat depan tu you detect, satu bagi info, kemudian dia ada delay sikit dalam 1 saat, baru dia bagi info. So kita punya decision tu dah jadi macam giving a false punya info lah.
Wrong
So kita
representation,
memang wrong representations lah. Bukan, iyalah wrong representation lah. Seorang bagi lambat sikit. So aku, dia lambat sikit bagi masuk kan. Jadi kita, bila kita compute tu, so kita akan dapat something yang berbeza. We are talking about real times punya synchronization lah. Embedded system banyak orang tahu lah. RTOS. Orang-orang macam tu dia faham lah benda-benda macam ni. Scheduling. Macam tu lah. Dr. Zura sebab tu.
Okay.
Saya tanya juga kadang-kadang tu.
Dr. Zuratis, Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think the last one I think from Prof. Noliza, I think aging society, is it possible to achieve AV? It seems like similar to Dr. Atta question. They anticipate when it's ready anyway. Is it available for aging society?
I don't want to put exact date lah for that. Saya tak nak sebut. What we believe it will come. Dia akan sampai. In nutshell, we do some market studies, we do some surveys on that. It will come. By soon as, sebab everybody is talking right now. That company saya lupa, saya ada satu slide tu. Overall ecosystem on all AVs. Maksudnya software stack, sensor stack, platforms, infra, maps pun dia ada satu slide. Memang banyak. Once OEM start masuk, lagi laju. Macam tu. Lagi laju. Sebab dia will drive that.
I think that's the last question from our participant. Maybe I think it's a good time for us to end here lah, Dr. Hairi.
Boleh.
With all, terima kasih lah. I think you really sincerely beri jawapan lah to all the questions here. Hopefully this is not the end for us to having you on the session. Of course, we want to see more from eMovies, definitely from Dr. Hairi lah and team to bring us forward Malaysia in the awareness of AV and the technology updates and everything, right? I just quick one. How many hours your 4 engineers working every day? Just quick
8 to 6. 8 to 6. Normal, 9 to 6.
Oh, okay.
Normal je. Ramai orang takut lah. Itu normal je lah. 9 to 6 tu. Cukup lah balik. Aku halau.
Sorry, I'm joking. Mungkin kopi-kopi will do that. Alright. Again, I think Dr. Hairi, thanks for your time. I think we have almost like 1 hour plus, I think, for the session. Again, on behalf of IEEE, as the organizer for today and the co-organizer from CAIRO UTM, we would like to thanks again Dr. Hairi for your time, for all your sharing experience, sharing talk on the updates and everything. I think with that, we end our session for today. Again, terima kasih banyak Dr. Hairi.
InsyaAllah. InsyaAllah. Dan nanti kita jumpa makan-makan pula.
Okay. Physical tu dah boleh lock nanti tu. Okay. Again. Itulah, bila dah kenal dia talk ni jadi macam talk kita pula. Sorry lah. Okay, again thanks everyone for joining us at IEEE for Industrial Talk. This is the second. We have a series until end of the year. There are few speakers that we outlined for this year. Again, with that, Assalamualaikum and have a good day ahead. Thanks everyone. That's it. Thanks, Dr. Hairi.
Thanks.